8 o'clock on a Monday morning. We brought the kids out here to get some exercise, but I already did my workout this morning so I could get started on this next video. Intentional people move through life with a purpose, guided by their values. And if you want to know what someone truly values in life, all you have to do is pay attention to how they spend their most closely guarded resources, their time and their money. Try looking at yourself through that lens. That's what I try to do. That's why in today's video, we are going on a quick trip across the country to take my son on an airboat ride looking for gators in a Florida swamp so that you can get some ideas on how to spend your most closely guarded resources. Hi, I'm Jason, and this is my fortuitous experiment with intentional living to see what would happen if I actually listened to all the experts who are always telling us how to live happier, more fulfilling lives. So come along with me and I'll show you how it's worked out so far, and I'll demonstrate some of the principles that I'm using to live my best life so that you can too. A lot of smart people suggest that spending money on experiences is a better investment than material things. So I decided back when my kids were really young that when they turned 12, I would take them on a one-on-one trip for an adventure wherever they wanted to go that didn't require passports. So that was back when I had a really good job, stable income. Fast forward a few years and I had a really bad career transition and we were pretty much broke for 5 years, living in Idaho. Well, during that time, my firstborn turns 12. So I had a decision to make and my values were going to be tested. Was it really a good decision to spend money that we didn't have just to take my daughter on a trip? Depends on who you ask. I asked her childhood, and then I threw down my credit card on top of my newly acquired employee discount, and we left Idaho for a one-night stay in Hawaii. And we had a great time. It was short and rushed and probably took us over a year to pay it off, but at least she wasn't left wondering where she stood on my list of priorities. Then when my son turned 12, he wanted to go to San Diego to check out their amazing zoo. Finances had not improved much by this point, so that ended up being just a day trip. Now it's time for another trip for my other son's birthday, but he's going to work a little bit for this. Here, I'll let my daughter explain.
Okay, so right now we're at the airport. We're about to go to Orlando, and since it's for Bradley's birthday trip, he has to figure out how to get through security and do everything on his own.
Find
Bradley?
the gate and everything.
Yeah, he has to find the gate and everything.
Don't they have to do that thing where it's like, doesn't it have to be like who's your parent or something?
No, you don't need a parent.
Oh, they're always like, so are you their parents?
Yeah, but that's when I'm with you. That's when I'm with you.
Lame.
Okay, so you read the signs, look at the signs. Do you want arrivals or do you want departures?
See the flight.
Orlando.
I see the flight.
Orlando.
Okay.
A6. There we go.
Okay, so Bradley found the gate. We're at our gate now. He had to go through everything on his own. So this started a few years ago when we lived in Idaho. I was with my brother and my dad took us to the airport just so we could figure out how to get on a flight. We didn't actually go on the flight, but we had to navigate our way through the airport and figure out how to get on the flight. So then when it was time to get on, we just went home. So then a couple years ago, I was going to San Francisco for my 14th birthday and I was with my brother, and my dad had us figure out completely on our own how to get through, like get the boarding pass, get through security, and get on the flight. And we had to go to Kauai on the way to California. So my dad actually got on a different flight than us so that we had to get on completely by ourselves.
Yeah, so you guys went first, right?
Yeah.
And then you just waited for me at the correct gate once we got to Kauai, and then we went to California from there. That's right, yeah.
At the beginning of the year, we went to Texas with the family, and then we went to Utah and then California, and my dad was having us figure out how to do everything on our own.
So now you know how to get through the airport on your own. So when it's time for me to kick you out of the house, I can just wave
just drop me off at the airport.
Drop you off. As we board the airplane, just a quick point of clarification. This is supposed to be my son's one-on-one trip, but my daughter's tagging along for 2 reasons. First off, my son didn't mind. And second of all, if you're the parent of a teenage daughter who actually wants to travel with you, you're lucky, so go with it. We made it to Orlando, just picked up our rental car. First we need to hit the hotel, then get some Chick-fil-A, then teach the boy how to put some gas in the car, and now we're on to the swamp. Now here's what we came to see, although we weren't expecting baby alligators. I really wanted to reach down there and grab one, but Mama Gator already wasn't happy. Now it's time to head back, but I need to say, if you guys have never ridden on an airboat before, it was an awesome experience. I strongly suggest you add this to your list. For day 2, we drove out to Cape Canaveral to visit the Kennedy Space Center. Astronauts, rockets, space toilets, you get the idea. Then we drove another hour north to get reacquainted with the Atlantic Ocean and to compare Florida's beaches to our beaches back home. As you look around at Daytona Beach, I'll tell you about a conversation I had with my wife on the drive up here. Knowing my personality, she says, "You're not rushing through this like everything else, are you?" And my response was, yes I am. Because the alternative is that we just don't have time to do anything. For example, we spent almost $300 for about 3 hours at the Kennedy Space Center. Some people might say that wasn't even worth it. And they're right, if they value money more than experiences. So all in all, yeah, it was a little rushed. And despite having airline privileges, we still had to purchase full fare tickets from Orlando to Los Angeles, meaning I spent just over $1,000 for a 2-day trip. And traveling across the country is never going to be convenient. But what am I saving my time, energy, and money for if I'm not going to use them to live my values? Right now we're about to land on the Big Island before catching another airplane back to Oahu. So now's a good time for me to share my conclusion on spending money on experiences over material things. And it's simple. You need to find someone you care about and go travel with them, even if it's just a quick trip. And don't spend too much time planning or you'll find excuses not to go. Since I've been intentional about putting the time in with my kids, they've grown into teenagers that I actually enjoy traveling with. And I think they're okay with being around me too, as evidenced by my daughter asking me to help her prepare for her lifeguard certification, even though my stroke still needs some work. But the point is, I had the opportunity because, number 1, I've already put the time in, and number 2, well, that leads into the theme of the next video, where I will break down for you what you absolutely must be doing if you want to truly live an intentional life and have the experiences and opportunities that, quite frankly, unintentional people will never know. Also in this next video, I'll talk about health and fitness in a way that you've probably never heard before. And I'll show you some of the unconventional things that I do that help me to live my most fulfilling life. So I hope you come back for that. For now, thanks for watching.